So, oh man, what a day to be a black man in America. What a day to be a black man in America. All right. So, obviously, the NBA and their leaders, Chris Paul, LeBron James, decided to boycott, right? And the biggest one of the biggest knocks is people say, well, they have the right to earn income as well. I agree with that as a standalone statement 100%. The NBA players chose to thrust themselves in front of America and boycott. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was a choice to boycott. And when you make a choice, you're either in it to either win or lose, not to go halfway. In basketball terms, it was like every NBA player went to half court and threw half court shots instead of crossing half court and trying to get the best shot available. You know what I mean? They leaving, in my eyes, the NBA is players are deeming themselves that just them playing basketball and their social media platforms is equal to the value of the protesters in Wisconsin. Two of them lost their lives. Uh, the couple of people who lost their lives in Texas, and people who lost their businesses in Minnesota. If you're in this, the same as a teammate, right? The same condemnation that they did on LeBron James in Cleveland. Oh, he's a traitor. And I'm only using LeBron as an example. It's the entire NBA. You understand? If you're going to do something, do it 100%. Malcolm X told us a long time ago that entertainers and celebrities cannot be our leaders. And when you're a full-fledged grown man, you can understand this, because whoever plants the seed and waters the seed and turns it into a tree, that's who you will be loyal to, right? I'll give you an example. NBA owners associate themselves with politicians. Politicians give NBA owners tax breaks to, one, bring the team to the city. Two, tax breaks on building the arena. Three, they're able to monetize with tax breaks. And the NBA owners' monetization pays professional athletes. That's it in a nutshell. So if NBA players want to be free, they have to create their own. As challenging as it may be, as challenging as it may sound, but if you're going to the table accepting to have a 50-50 equity with a man that already has a contractual advantage over you with the government, a contractual contract with the government, and the government has the Constitution, how can you forever be equal? Pragmatically, if you're looking at it from 50,000 feet, LeBron James can never be equal to Mark Cuban. That's just the reality of it. LeBron James doesn't have the relationships. More importantly, he don't have the skin complexion. And that's and LeBron James is the leader, right? If LeBron James don't play and Kawhi Leonard don't play, there's no NBA. And we already accepted that they're in the bubble, that they're going to take a knee and do these symbolic gestures. Meanwhile, Breonna Taylor's mom is still crying. Mr. Blake is handcuffed to a hospital bed, paralyzed with no intestines, and his dad is frustrated and crying and hurt. Meanwhile, the NBA players chose to thrust themselves in front of America for a 12-hour boycott, which is more of like a postponement of a game. Breonna Taylor's mother is still crying. Do y'all not understand that? And And I posted this today. If you're not willing to risk your life in a war, find another job in the war. Build ammunition. But don't say enough is enough and then go back to what created enough is enough. Because if LeBron James is getting $1, Mark Cuban is getting $2. And then Mark Cuban pays taxes, which pays the police department, which allows the government to walk freely in their city. Do y'all see the connection there? And people say voting is the answer. Voting is one of the apples on the tree. Okay? We need black people in every area of life, right? And if we don't go, as they say, balls to the wall, and like we said in practice, if we don't go 100 miles an hour right now, guess what we're gonna be? We're gonna be a country of still the have and the have-nots. I despise black people who say, I just can't wait for things to get back to normal. I despise your motherfucking ass. Like, I despise you. Like, things get back to normal. We all got to make sacrifices. You understand? We all have to make sacrifices, okay? And when you choose to boycott, we wasn't asking them to boycott. Kendrick Perkins said Kyrie Irving had a bird brain. And if you put his brain in a bird, it will fly backwards. Come on, man. You know what I mean? We got to get our own. Malcolm X was right. You know what I mean? It's funny how, like, in challenging times, Malcolm X's voice always reigns true. So we got options. In your circle of influence, you got to have your own boycott. You know what I mean? I've made some sacrifices that I've been public with some of them. I'll give you guys more later on as we go down the line, but I'm very intentional about what I'm doing right now. Because I'll be damned if my money 20 years from now pays for a Jewish man to go to college and then oppress another black man out of the music industry. I'll be damned if my tax dollars pays another white man and his son becomes a police officer and he shoots my son and kills him because he's black. That's why we got to be intentional. We don't know who's going to be next. But guess what? Someone's going to be next. And we don't know. It's just hard being black in America, being a black man in America. It's just hard. It's an emotional roller coaster. You know, it was funny because I had this thought yesterday. I was running last night at about 12:45, 1 o'clock, maybe somewhere in there, 1 o'clock after the show yesterday. And there was a cop at the stoplight. And you know what I said? To myself. He just drove by and didn't bother me. I'm shocked he didn't put the light on me. That's trauma. Being black in America, that's trauma. I was prepared to tell him a story in my neighborhood. And you know why? Because I run often at night. And guess what police do when they see me running? They shine a light on me. The median in my community is just over $100,000. Do you understand that shit? The amount of trauma that we gotta live. Anyways, man, it's just awful that they chose to boycott, and then 12 hours later say, nah, we cool. All right, man. I'll see y'all tonight, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna talk about this. And I'm just exasperated, man. And I look forward to seeing y'all tonight, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Click the link in the description box, and see y'all in the barbershop. Peace.